right, we are live on Facebook. Hey everyone, my name is Frances James, and this is the Minneapolis Poetry Sanctuary. We have an open mic twice a month, the second and fourth Sundays of the month. Tonight we have two new poets that will be joining us, and then we will one of the poets you've all admired before. And we are just gonna, Marco, do you wanna go first actually? Because Lukas isn't quite logged in. Oh wait, here he comes, hold on. He's coming on. Let me just share really quickly that please go to the Minneapolis Poetry Sanctuary Facebook page. And you will be able to see the other open mic videos there, as well as connect with other poets globally. I tend to post writing prompts once in a while and different things for people to engage in and get to know each other. So thank you for watching. Thank you for joining us, fellow poets. Lukas, do you want to get us started, please?
Sure. Yeah, I'm Lukas Dietsche. I'm from the Duluth area. I am involved in a couple projects that I'm going to put in the chat. I write a lot of poems on depression and psychotypal personality disorder. I'm with a group called Poetry Beyond the Walls. And I am one of the editors of that, and I help try to find incarcerated poets. Well, I don't find them because they're in jail, so it's not hard to find. But they write to me, want to be published. So there is a book coming out. I put the link, Poetry Behind the Walls, and I also have a Patreon account, Xenial Poetry Notes. And I'm not taught poet per se. I had one class in 2003 about English literature, and I loved it. And I've been writing and publishing many poetry books and getting published. And as of late, I am finally doing my life goal of fusing poetry and criminology together and forming a form of pedagogy called poetry criminology that studies the poetry of incarcerated people. So I got my master's in criminology. So I might be called a heretic because I don't have like a master's or a bachelor's in writing or literature. So I definitely come from things from a very eclectic angle, as in my writing or hosting events. I've been the first poet laureate of Superior, Wisconsin. Currently, the poet laureate of Taconite Harbor, Minnesota, and the poet laureate of this coffee shop in Superior. So yeah, I'll definitely put my info in the thing and check it out. So I've been reading, like, this COVID stuff has really like given me an awesome dive of like inspiration. I have a partner, Esther Marcella. Her and I both write on a lot of internal purging, a lot of things on this massive interstellar visitor called Oumuamua, which you should definitely check it out. It's something that came from somewhere and doesn't act like a comet or anything. And for me, like, not being interested in space at all, like, this was like something that really gave me hope. So I have a poem about that. I have a lot of poems about like abandoned cities that I visit over the summer. And I had another one, but and another one about Franconia, which I visited over Halloween, which is this very special place that you have to go. So the first poem is about a pretend fictitious city on Mars that Elon Musk kind of wants to create. So I called it Elonia. And this is like the poem kind of in a futuristic sense called Doom Spoke Elonia. They ignored the first messenger of Uamuamua's clarion call, the only harbinger of hope during COVID, to get out of Mars. Here on our modest solar Earth, soldiers canceled sanitation operations and battling COVID wars to send orbiters and supply shuttles to Elonia. Elonia, symbol city of earthest hand, this Roanoke to molest Mars and disrupt indigenous planetary architecture, where Elon Musk's Martian company Egotropolis shanghaied ex-convicts, geology students, interspace communists, robots, and overalls, Ugg boots, digging into cinnabar frost for the minerals of marsenite and leucardium. Workers' kids became malnourished colonials. These future denizens to do far more social distancing, too good for our air-soaked tar and sulfur Atsilon to further far from reality to Martianic shore. At 81 in his ziggurats, his Selenic turbo suit, Elon will be elected first emperor of his farce, Zarahirma. And that is Doomspoke Elonia. So I live in West Duluth, and it has its own jive because it's historically very working class. There was a lot of places where they would put coal and taconite and have sawmills and stuff, and where the first road across Wisconsin and Superior was. So I just moved here like a month ago, but I'm already finding a lot of inspiration. So this one's called Old Darkness and Industria. Monochromatic strip of Duluth hills, peppered by poor industrias, incandescent, smeared in wet gunpowder, and soaked in sulfur scents. This is where the lights hardly go, overarching towards fossil concrete of where Arrowhead Road connected two hemispheres. In October, more of COVID court sickness. Snow came around the 28th and throws and graffiti in celebratory array, bearing point leaves claws, trees crown losing shade, amber stuck in turmeric near Poltergeist Bridge, trestled iron stomach around smoky buildings' graves. And that is Old Darkness and So I write a lot about Franconia because it's this place west of the cities. It's this outdoor sculpture place. And it's not like people make like zebras or stuff. It's like it comes from a part of our brain undiscovered almost. Like people make the most deliciously awesome things that like get all of the feelings and emotions of you. You might be happy, or like me, you might want to go to the same freaking thing that looks like an elephant or whatever and start crying and have your girlfriend Esther like cry with you and everything. So like there's this really cool thing there. And I've written like 3 or 4 poems about it every time I go there. So this one's called Hell's Friendly Elephant. More than a sculpture, more than a monster, and pachyderm posture taken outside of my endless emotions. I cried for the creature in a dark rage and telepathically rousing peace. What maker can mine such sad feels out of me and bend the monster's legs so still. Hell's elephant, arrayed with poems left in the green canvas fibers, friendly and menacing and faceless in an atmosphere of field. The real hoses, duct tape. What we humans modestly convert to breathes, the passive trunks, docile steel rods for tusks, and overlooked pines, and an overcoat of midnight rolling over. Last poem is about Scorpios. I have to admit, I am a living Scorpio. Oh shit, did I turn it off? No. I had my 39th anniversary around the sun, aka birthday, a couple weeks ago, and this is a very awesome birthday. Went to Taylor Falls and went on these abandoned railroad places and saw an abandoned cemeteries and towns, and I really like going that. And I had a really awesome person, Esther Marcella, go with me, and she's like totally cool as a girlfriend and a partner and a fellow scribe. So this one is called "Cause the Scorpio Always Had to Have the Grudge." Cause the Scorpio always had to have the grudge. He is a helpless torso without one. When you can't have revenge anymore, slowed by night's lingerie, so claw is rubber banded, sting becomes impotent, a drowning water sign on a lakeless shore. He will have to mop up sincere jealousies while being both masculine and authoritarian. Private morsels arose on Facebook, eroded in publicity. Poems people can't read will be buried with his 38th year, his sad doppelganger, his dead Gemini. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much, Lucas. I always enjoy hearing your poems, and you and Esther are both just very special people, and I love to see the support and love that you have for each other. It's really beautiful.
Thank you so much.
So, and I feel like I got to know you a little bit more tonight with, everything you shared, about your education, and your different various projects. I think the promoting, sharing, supporting the voices of people who have been incarcerated is such a important important duty and project, and I will love to hear more about that.
Right on. Thank you so much.
Yeah. Marco, are you there, bud? Are you ready to read some poems?
I'm ready. I just want to say to Lucas, dude, those were some great poems. And that's really cool that you're doing with the incarceration thing. Like, it makes me think of, like, every time I think of like incarcerated artists, I always think of Charles Bronson, And I'm just like, dude, that's pretty cool. And there's this other poet, this Hispanic poet, I can't remember his name, but he made this movie called Blood In, Blood Out.
Okay.
And he was incarcerated in prison. He learned about poetry, and he became, like a screenwriter and a poet, and that's pretty cool, man. Like, like there's always art everywhere, so that's pretty cool that you're doing that.
Thank you.
All right, but yeah, I guess my name's Marco Fuentes. I'm from Hamptonville, North Carolina, and I guess I've always been drawn to art and poetry, but after I did a lot of mushrooms and acid, it just kind of, it seemed like it was necessary for me to dive deeper. I didn't go to college for any poetry. I've always just kind of picked stuff up that I've read, that I've enjoyed, and recently I feel that I need to read more and experience more of all kinds of different poets, because I was always drawn to the poets that inspired me, but now I feel like I need to read it, like, as much as I can to be a wholesome poet, like from our contemporary poets to like the most obscure poetry that has ever been written, to classical, to everything. So, but I am a big fan of surrealist poetry, and I think like that's where most of my poetry goes to. So I have, I think, 3 poems here that I feel like really provide that essence. So I don't even have titles for them. So I'll just say 1, 2, 3, I guess. So here's the first poet, or the first poem. She lived in a quiet house under a quiet red roof that ate a book, that swallowed all the ants, that made symbols out of rain, that listened to the howling wind of a prisoner that she kept alive in a hive in her imaginary basement. She lived in a farm that was a brain, that was a dome of boredom, wrapped in a chain that was white, whiter than pansies. She lived in the air like a sweet smell, like citrus in autumn, and she made the foliage turn orange. October always struggled like an animal to remain cold in her presence. She lived inside blue eyes, blue like the face of death, and the sun's bloated skin kept her thin and golden. She lived in a tropical island. Fruit was woven in her hair, and her mare was an enlightened lunatic. She lived inside a dream that passes in the sky like a cotton candy cloud erupting with fire and glittering angels. So that was the first poem. The second poem, I actually wrote it while I was working landscaping, and it just came to my head, and I just wrote this down. The grass cuts my skin. There isn't much I can do when the hammer drives the nail deep into the dense wood. A bird of stone sang, and the coyote hummed on the limb of a hand of a glove whose fingers crawl up the stairs. So that was the second poem. And then the final poem is a little bit longer, I think, maybe. I don't know. Anyways, here it goes. Supernatural alchemy could not summon her, but she appears from the tall, withered weed stalks. Set fire to the leaves. The desire engulfed the earth. In the wasteland, his silhouette is crying unlimited, heart-moist tears. When the sea turns into a leviathan, and when the night reeks of dead lilies, he'll be in his drunkenness like an old washcloth. It is she who is the hammer that can mold the limp metal back into a sword. Your luminous grace restores my hope always after I'm mangled and torn apart. In delirium lives the young bohemian who sings like the blind Athenian. The abyss opened its eye, a crocodile jaw. The ferryman welcomes me as long as I carry the coin to pay the toll. Money can't take me to the place where I'll reunite with my soul. Oh, this is the perfect world to feel lonely in. The day is too wet, and the music has a sad density that sinks it into the fog. Bourbon in my veins, dreams that grow and change. What was I desperately trying to outgrow? He's in a blind alley. He's in a box of dictionaries. He's in a pay stub. He holds a long line of anger in his genetics. We must face our masks until we fall into undisturbed peace. And that was the final. Yeah.
Marco, those were awesome. I am so grateful to have you here tonight. I know it's kind of hard to jump into things when you don't know people or you don't know how it's going to turn out, but those were really cool poems. And I feel like what came to mind actually, especially in the first one, was like Salvador, like Dali type like paintings. Like you were just kind of coming up with all these abstract like things. So that actually gave me an idea that I think I'm gonna do like a writing prompt with a Salvador Dali painting.
Cool.
And so you'll have to do that. And Lucas, you'd be good at that too.
Like Dada.
Yeah, I'll post like a picture on the page, but no,
I'm sorry. Could I plug my Instagram real quick? I forgot to do that.
absolutely, yes.
Yeah.
My Instagram and my Facebook page are Marco Art and Poetry. That's I also paint and I draw, and so there's all that stuff there. And you know, you guys can check it out.
Cool. Yeah,
Yeah.
I will definitely check that out. I also wanted to say that I love that you both have kind of shared on that theme of like wanting to grow yourself and wanting to, you know, be a well-rounded poet, because I actually am the same exact way. I barely graduated high school, and I have college, you know, under my belt, but I don't have my degree. And I wrote poems for many, many years before I even really was reading novels or anything. But that's something I'm personally working on too, because I want to be well-rounded. I want to, you know, know the various forms and just kind of, because that's how you gain like inspiration, how you grow, you know, as a writer. So I love that we each kind of had that similarity going on, because I think it's important, you know. So yeah, Marco, thank you so much. So Paul, we have a guy named Paul who's going to be joining us, but he had to step off for a minute. So I think I'll read some poems because I don't see him yet here. So I'm attending the University of Massachusetts Lowell for an online English degree. I am loving it, by the way, so far. So if you ever interested in that, I would recommend looking up that school. But anyways, we had to submit tonight a workshop piece for the semester for the other students to workshop. So I put together a small selection of some of my latest poems called Confessions. So I'm going to be reading from that. Well, I'll just start at the beginning. Confessions. I'm a mixed bag of bipolar mood swings, OCD perfectionism, BPD all or nothing thinking, and ADD restlessness. In other words, a tote of you're fucked. I'm a recovering codependent and food addict. I'm okay with saying that. I have tattoos on my arms to cover up self-inflicted cutting scars and cigarette burns. I never shower daily. If I'm tired, I'd rather risk running into someone I know than to take a minute to brush my teeth. My skin is so oily, it smudges my glasses and gets in my eyes. I can't seem to get rid of my blackheads, stretch marks, and double chin because a regular skincare routine is too time-consuming and energy depleting. If I took better care of myself, I would be considered pretty. I sleep in every day. If I have a couple productive days, they are followed by an exhausted week. I don't know if I'll ever change. I take meds that don't numb me from my head, but I wish I could take the meds that numb me from my head. I wish I didn't care. I post photos of my healthy meals with acceptable portions, but then eat the rest afterwards. I act like I have found the answers, but later I question the same answers. I love my dog more than most people. I'm so intuitive that I can sense people's secrets even though no one told me. I am often correct. I hate women that can eat whatever they want and stay skinny. Sometimes I'll drive to the store just to get dessert. I'm worried I love all the wrong people. I resent people who live recklessly. I don't know if I would be a good mother or if I should even have children. I say I'm fine alone, but I'm lonely. I don't know if I will ever fully trust anyone. I'm the nicest person you'll ever meet until I feel betrayed. I forgive, but I move on. I will always call you out on your bullshit. This is out of love. I hate my ass, back, neck, and stomach, but I don't mind my crooked, teethy smile. I fart all the time when no one is around. Overly confident people annoy me. I'm insecure about my intelligence. Researching unhealthy food ruined eating whatever I wanted. I hardly watch the news. I'm impatient with my art and writing. I'm simply lucky to have certain talents. I rarely answer phone calls or respond to voicemails. I only know about Scorpios because I am a Scorpio, but I act like I know all the signs. I get anxiety about watching movies because it feels like a commitment. I hate myself if I don't finish a book, so I let each of these books sit on my bookshelf to haunt me. I love being naked whenever I'm alone. I say I love people because that's what I feel called to do, but most people's decisions are terribly selfish and disturbing. I'm often afraid. All right, this one is called The Truth. I'm high functioning mentally ill. You know, the kind where I haven't yet died. The kind where I can muster up a joke, force myself to smile, be a professional pretender. The kind where how I'm perceived matters more than my well-being. The kind where I need others to love me in order to be worthy enough to survive. People never understand. Really? You seem fine. You're productive. You're responsible. You're kind. As if surviving is thriving. If only they knew I have to win the battle every time. But the truth is, I am more. The truth is, I try and I don't give up. The truth is, I care enough to do the work. I have goals and dreams and I won't let them go. I'd rather suffer through than die with regret. Just how 20 hospital visits is worth it. Just how staying safe requires a form of humility, or how asking for what I need breaks the silence. Each time I've willed to live. I wish every person could know my story, could feel how proud I am of myself. The truth is, I love who I'm becoming. The truth is, not a day has been easy. And I'm just gonna let Paul in here. All right, this one's called After Midnight. Tonight I'm manic. I wanted to write a bit, but why not be full blown? I had a really good day. Really good days mean I'm manic because who has good days for no reason? Every high I know has a low with a descending stair. If you go so low, you trespass into hell. Satan is fine with it. I've got a punch card for being a loyal visitor. Satan says if I come to hell 10 times in a row, I get a souvenir. Or maybe it was God who said that. Either way, I'll still take my prize. I think I'm at 1,000 by now. Trusting joy is a shitty assignment that was due probably years ago for the students who never questioned their answers. Somehow I failed trust class at least 100 times, even though the answers were written on my heart the whole time. It's 12:06 a.m. and an owl is hooting outside my window. My dog is so fascinated, he went to look and see what it was. Owls are often messengers, but I don't say that anymore after what happened in 2006. It's only after midnight, but even these minutes feel like hours, and yesterday was a week. Seroquel just kicked my door down for resisting arrest. I just ate enough food to surrender, wrists behind my back. It was fun while it lasted. Okay, this one is called A+ in Survival. School was misery for me. Maybe it was the lack of focus, lack of attendance, lack of knowledge or reason to live, surrounded by people who didn't think twice. Depression is a hole where ambitions and strength go to die, and waking up was just a reminder I didn't want to be here. School was a place I had to go if I could promise to be safe enough to leave my room at the ward. I learned nothing except how to coach myself to walk to class when my friend didn't, because he had committed to suicide. I had different lessons, like how to administer bandages to wounds on a wrist, or how lithium might create balance in the brain of someone else luckier than me, or how the chemical reaction of charcoal in the belly won't always be enough. I wonder if hospital visits earn health credit, if panic attacks are psychology, if surviving speaks volumes on history. All right, I'm going to read one more. Let me see here which one I should do. I'm going to read this one. Who I am. I know now God isn't a man who can't love me. The same as how I know eating 2 bowls of ice cream is only a fantasy of the brain I can do without. I know I'm further from who I was and now closer to someone who smiles and believes it. I know going back, even a different way, still gets me to the same place I no longer want to stay. I know now horses mean more to me than a childhood dream, and dancing freely is medicine I need. I know the importance of the earth on my hands, clean air, to sing without thought, only feeling. I know now what I love, and that makes me free. I know loving myself is a choice I make daily, and life will leave you where you are if you refuse to stand up for yourself. I know to listen for peace, to not wait for faith. I know rest isn't lazy, life isn't easy, and I'm the only person who can fix my crazy. I know letting go is sometimes letting live, and other times it's leaving behind what doesn't fit. All that matters is I found myself. I know now who I am. Thank you guys so much. You know what? I think I will read one more. Is that okay?
Sure.
Yeah.
Okay, I got one more, because this one I haven't even read before. I think maybe a couple of those ones I had read, but not this one. So this one is called Needing Each Other. And I do want to say just like really quickly that I wrote this this last week when I attended an online like healing circle. And it was really freaking awesome. It was led by a poet named Desiree. I'll figure out her name and I'll put it in the comments. She's really great. But yeah, it was all, you know, about healing ourselves and that it's okay in any way that you're struggling, you know, it's okay. We all are struggling in different ways and we don't need to be ashamed of that. So this one's called Needing Each Other. I love all. I respect your journey, even if I didn't go it. I'd wear your shoes for a day, even if you wouldn't wear mine. I'd give you a smile when I'm sad. Would you give me one? I ask not to condemn. I ask because I too need one. A heart for a second, even if a moment. I care, you care. We are strong enough to care. So don't hide, have courage. Don't hate yourself. We all have stories. We all have minds to unwind, mysteries and mistakes to explore. I am not ashamed of you. We are allowed brokenness. Let us please see imperfections as brokenness. If we are lost, we can also be found. When I say, I don't like this or I don't like that, it's not your fault. It's not your decision. It's a hole in me only I can learn to fill, or a line only I can draw. But unity is important. We must not forget we need each other, whether we like it or not. I will always come back to this. A stranger still needs a friend. we all need a friend. And my dog is making a lot of noise over there, so I'm going to grab him. But thank you guys. My name is Frances James. You can check out I also paint and sing. I write music. I make jewelry. You can check that out on my Facebook page, Fran's Art from the Heart. I also have a website, fransartfromtheheart.com. There's no apostrophe. Yeah, so Paul Bennett, we haven't had you on here before. I'm
Hi.
excited. Why don't you tell us where you're from, where you're living, and a little bit about yourself?
Okay, I'm from Vancouver, BC, and I am a career consultant. I do a lot of writing for that, but I enjoy creative writing a lot more. I like to write poems, and I love riding my bike and hiking and backcountry camping and that kind of thing. So yeah, it's a little bit about me. So it's good to see you guys. I heard some of you reading, but then I had to run around and try and find a place where my wireless would work. So had to pop in and out, but yeah. So where are you guys all from?
I'm from Hamptonville, North Carolina.
I'm in Duluth.
Duluth? Okay. Was that Marco from Duluth or Lucas?
No, Lucas is from Duluth.
Oh, and you're from North Carolina, Marco. Well, that's cool.
Hey, man, Paul, I am so sorry, man. My phone is about to die.
Oh, okay. Okay, you got to sign off?
Yeah, I'm going to. But do you have a page or something I could follow you?
Well, I do have a website called Verbalis Neurotica. Like basically, if you take the word verbal and then put IS on the end of it.
Oh, okay.
And then you put the word neurotic and you put the letter A after that.
All right.
So if you Google Verbalis Neurotica, you'll find some of my stuff there. But
all right.
How about you, Marco? Are you online as well?
Huh?
Are you online as well?
Yeah, my Facebook and my Instagram are Marco Art and Poetry.
Mm-hmm.
So that's where you
sure.
The poems I shared here I actually haven't posted, but I'll post them and
cool.
read, and I'll watch you with the video they post on YouTube.
Sure, as you wish. No problem.
I am so sorry. I didn't know my phone was about to die and I don't have a charger at hand. I'm riding in the car.
I totally understand. No trouble. No, this is good. This is good. Nice cozy group of three here. So it's all good. It's all good. Nice to meet you anyway.
You too, man. Rock on, man. I'll see you.
Cheers.
Cheers.
Okay. So Francis, I was just telling Lucas that from Vancouver, BC, I'm a career consultant and I love to write and I love to ride my bike and I really love camping and backpacking and hiking and all that kind of outdoorsy stuff. So yeah. So, and poetry is kind of like writing is when I feel the most sort of alive. So yeah. All right. Well, I'll read a couple for you guys then. This one here, I've got some short ones, and since we're kind of a small group, maybe I have time to do a 4 or 5 minute poem, if that's cool with you guys. So this one, I'll do a really quick one here first called The Angry Giant Zucchini. I actually wrote this one up today. It's called The Angry Giant Zucchini. I hate you, my little brother and sister Zooks. You're so cute, tidy, green, unblemished. You seduce the gardeners, winking your stupid orange blossoms, whispering, pick me, pick me. And then, enchanted, they'll carefully pluck you, gently hold you, slowly turn you around, smiling, admiring, cooing as if you're some kind of newborn baby. Look, Julia, this one's beautiful. Nobody's ever going to cradle me. I detest you. And then they'll tenderly place you into a tidy little wicker basket, along with your perfect little veggie friends, and whisk you off to gorgeous designer kitchens, dens of gustatory hedonism, where you'll be only too happy to be sliced, diced, seasoned, marinated, grilled, and roasted. And then you'll ride the coattails of snobby garlics and pretentious tomatoes, mingling in antipastas, swimming in zuppas, lounging in lasagnas, adorning pizzas, cavorting in ensaladas, arranged upon white linen among the silver, the crystal, the fresh-cut flowers, and the elegantly dressed guests who will gush, "Rodrigo, where on earth did you find your zucchini? This bruschetta is exquisite. I despise you. And just who do you think I get to be? I'm the monster of the veggie patch, dead zeppelin of the garden, beached whale of the backyard. Nobody wants to pluck and savor me. No, no, no. All they care about is how big I become. So I just lie here lonely and ignored in the driving rain, overrun by ants, slimed by slugs. My belly rash worsening because nobody wants to turn me lest I snap from the vine and stop growing. So I just get bigger and bigger and uglier. I loathe you. How do you think it would feel, the indignity of being heaved into the back of a filthy pickup with all the other veggie freaks, driven to some silly state fair, dumped upon a rusty scale, jabbed by dollar store ribbons, hoisted upon a stinking bale of hay, only to be gawked at, laughed at, pointed at, along with the other humiliated squashes and pumpkins? I can't stand you. I'll never get to warm up in a skillet. I'll never get to tingle anyone's palate. I'll never be the reason well-heeled, overfed, tummy-rubbing, cigar-smoking, brandy-swilling A-listers raise and clink their glasses in a toast to the chef, because I'll never have your tender, delicious, arrogant flesh. Who the hell would want me, a 300-pound zucchini? No, they'll just drive me home from the state fair, chop me up into compost, feed me to the worms. You precocious little zook pukes. I hate you. The end. Glad you guys enjoyed that. Yeah, it's kind of goofy. Kind of goofy. So, any comments at all? Anybody care to
I thought it
reflect?
was fun. It was fun. It was a good
Good.
poem.
Right on. Good. I liked it. It was fun to write. So, okay. So let's see. I'll have another one here. Let's see what we got here. Let's just. I've got. Okay. Here's a short one. Supermarket swingers. It's an ad. It's like a want ad. 6 hunky, well-ripened avocados, 9 hot young chilies, and 3 smartly dressed cloves of garlic. Smartly pressed. Let me start that again. Sorry, guys. 6 hunky, well-ripened avocados, 9 hot young chilies, and 3 smartly pressed cloves of garlic, seeking fresh, fragrant shallots and tart, juicy lemons for discreet, no strings attached Cuisinart group encounters in an all-upscale kitchen in Layville's desirable Tenderloin district. We're pepper-friendly and love salty humor. You're chill, GMO-free, and at least 18 hours post-harvest and willing to practice safe blending. Shy shallots may wear a few sprigs of cilantro. If interested, please send us a recent photo and a self-addressed stamped banana leaf in confidence to Box 7, Station X, Layville, Kentucky, 69069. The end.
Thank you. Thank you so
Cool.
much.
Right on. I got one more. Sorry about the noise. Guys, got ready for one more here? This one's a little bit longer, but it's about 4 minutes.
That's totally fine.
Okay. This one is called, let me see here. Just have to do a little search here. Sorry about the noise in the background. Okay. It's called that'll stop in a second. This one's called She Sings My Body Electric. She sang my body electric when her teenage hazel eyes caught mine, 1,000 sparks electrifying my glowing soul and joyful heart. She stole my breath, gave me a start. That breezy April morning, while on sandy shores of Passion Isle, we sailed our kites among the gulls. and rode the gusts between the lulls. She sang my body electric when, reclining in our hidden glen, we'd hold each other tight, and then, her undulations overloading my neural circuits to exploding, she'd claw her fingers gently at my sturdy legs and sweaty back on steamy, star-domed late May nights in our sweet meadow of delights. She sang my body electric when, the day that I did realize my future in her sparkling eyes, adoring me through gossamer lace that softly veiled her radiant face, her white-gloved hand assuring me, her calming gaze enchanting me. She locked her velvet lips with mine, infusing me with joy sublime, and warmed by late June's evening sun, we took the plunge and joined as one. She sang my body electric when, her lips erupting screams and swearing, her body suffered pain unsparing. When I first heard Mark's toothless cry, I pled with God to reveal why I'd signed up for this daunting chore that hot July night just before the morning when the world would see our household grow from 2 to 3. She sang my body electric when she sent young Mark up to his room for being the summer camp buffoon. And at my side she gave me pride at how she took it all in stride. That balmy August afternoon, we knew that he'd grow up too soon. She sang my body electric when she dabbed at salty trickles while our handsome Mark walked down the aisle. We watched a rugged 6-foot male so nervously lift Sarah's veil. That September day they sealed their bond and stepped towards the years beyond, embarking on their journey to adventures that would see them through. She sang my body electric when on circus rides she'd whirl and spin beside her lively grandson Jim. She'd sometimes get his parents riled. She'd spare the rod and spoil the child. Share ice cream on October nights. Oh, how Jim loved those colored lights. And as he grew, she was the dove that showered him with Nana love. She sang my body electric when on battered piano she would play the tunes that made old faces gay within that musty party room and shoo away November's gloom, those rainy nights when we would roam the hallways of our nursing home. She sang my body electric when she'd fill my belly up with laughter, spreading smiles and spawning banter, regaling all the medical crew. She'd usher all her loved ones through those dark December nights before her body finally lost the war. She sang my body electric when from underneath an earthen pile from 6 feet down, she called me while to blackness did my soul decline and pelt the ground with sorrow's brine, that heartless January day when Hades took my bride away and silent stone and faded flowers did usher in my anguished hours. She sings my body electric when, relaxing in my darkened room, I see her spirit in the moon. Her soft celestial whispering does cause my weary heart to sing, and hope will one day reunite and forge a star from golden light. And rising from her resting place in testament to love and grace on breezy April afternoons, while songbirds sing exquisite tunes, new vigor does the soil exude and spring green shoots of love renewed. She sings my body electric. The end.
Thank you so much, Paul. That was a really beautiful poem.
Glad you liked it.
Yeah, I haven't heard a lot of like rhyming poems lately in the open mic, and it was really refreshing. And then just that continuous, she's saying me electric when, it just really stays with me. Thank you for sharing that. Thank you so much. Do you have one more poem for us, or?
I could find something light, and that one's pretty intense, I guess, isn't it? So I can find something light and goofy. That one's kind of tough to read in a couple of spots, as you noticed probably. Okay, let's see here. Yeah, rhyming. I guess I kind of have a thing for rhyming, but I don't know. Sometimes it works. Sometimes it works. Let's see here. Okay, let's see here. I wrote a poem for my son, actually. Yeah, and this one doesn't rhyme. It's a little bit more. Let's see here.
Let's hear that one. I'd love to hear that one.
Yeah, okay, I'll read that one. This is called You. I wrote this for his 26th birthday. He was in China traveling, so I couldn't really send him money or anything, but this is called You. For my son, happy 23rd birthday. My hand glided over your mother's beautiful swollen belly, feeling your kicks and taps. We sang you lullabies and read you stories while you explored your warm liquid cocoon. 9 months of excitement, anticipation, the miracle. You filled her womb with life while you filled our hearts with love. Snowflakes swirled under frozen streetlights as we abandoned our half-eaten Christmas party dinners and hurried back home to our parenthood. Tidy handwritten contraction notes became illegible scrawls as your mother peacefully entered the tunnel of pain until, assisted by renegade midwives, we joyfully celebrated at 3:36 a.m. the messy arrival of you, a wiggling, bleating baby lamb. My cranium throbbing, I leaned heavily against the wall of our drafty, scream-filled apartment hallway, wondering how I might sleep standing up while rocking you until, finally, shielded from nocturnal tumbles by a rolled-up towel, warmed by jammies and blissfully unaware, you snoozed away beside your exhausted mother. Safely tucked in a carrier seat, you kicked your happy feet, your toothless mouth uttering a bewildering range of new sounds. Safely held by a hand from above, you tossed stones into the surf, your breathless lips launching squeals of delight as you hopped across the cobbles. I was awakened by the pitter-patter of little feet rushing to launch you onto the mattress on cozy Saturday mornings. I was cheered by the sound of your happy chatter, quietly trading stories with your Pokemons while you patiently waited for dinner. You stretched your little body as if hurling a javelin while surfing the beach winds of Tofino. You clambered aboard my back, hugging and laughing while we did beetle on summer lawns. I cherish your scribbled eulogy to Crouton, the last and matriarch of our dozen guinea pigs, our gold medal backyard sprinter. You tossed dandelions and her favorite things into a garden hole after she left us. Your mind expanded into many dimensions as you devoured books, conquered chess, and mastered math. Your body grew from boy to man as you played baseball, basketball, soccer, and karate. Your soul grew creative, expressive, and sensitive as you explored the beauty of the violin, piano, and guitar. Now you're handsome, full, tall, strong, and lean, blessed with quick wit, humility, and gratitude, possessed of a nimble mind and a loving heart. You've broken the chains of your ego and gathered wisdom from beyond the stars. You've colored the lives of so many around you. You've accepted and forgiven me for the times that I've failed you. You've inspired me like a candle to slay my private demons. Oh, my globe-trotting hero, countless pearled oysters will open for you. Innumerable sunrises will inspire you. Infinity ways forever. I will love you until I draw my very last breath. The end.
Thank you, Paul. That was really good.
Glad you liked it.
Yeah. It just
Good.
captured the whole, from birth to adult.
Yeah.
There were a few lines I'm trying to remember. They were so good. Yeah, really beautiful poem. Thank you.
Good. I liked it. Glad you liked it. Thank you, Lucas, for your thumbs up. And yeah, it's good. I get really deep into it when I write. So, Lucas, I heard something that you wrote as well. It was amazing. It was really good. It was excellent stuff. Unfortunately, as I said before, I had to kind of run around a bit. So hopefully next time I won't have to do that during the session.
Well, we are just happy to have you, Paul. And Lucas, thank you for returning again. I always love to hear your poems. And yeah, so just I'd love to have you again, invite your friends. And yeah, you can check out the page. And I hope you all have a wonderful rest of your evening. So
Right on.
care. Thank you for being here. And we'll
Yeah,
talk.
thank you.
All
Bye,
right.
Lucas. Take care.
Bye.
See you, Francis.